guys, don't you just love that card? So we're going to make that card today. I made that card over the weekend at my card class, and the ladies just loved it. It's using a technique called the mirror technique or reflections technique. It's not my idea. It's very easy to do. So I just want to go ahead and show you how to create the mirror image. So we're using Wild Wasabi for our A2 card base. So it is 5.5 by 8.5, and then you score it at 4.25. And that gives you your A2 card base. Then we're also going to need a piece of Island Indigo. This one here is cut at 5.25 by 4 1/8. You're also going to need a piece of Whisper White. This is cut at 5 by 4. And then a piece of silver foil paper and a piece of Whisper White. This was cut with the stitch shape framelits, and it was cut with the second smallest stitch shape framelits. This one here was cut with the layering ovals, and it was cut with the fourth smallest layering oval. So I always count down from the smallest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one here we use to cut out the silver foil. So the inks today we're going to be using is Basic Black, Island Indigo, Soft Sky, and Wild Wasabi. You also will need some sponge daubers. I'm using 3 of them today. I label mine so I can reuse them. The stamp sets we're going to use today is Lovely as a Tree. Let's see, there's a glare in there. Lovely as a Tree. And Teeny Tiny Wishes. So the first thing we're going to do is take our piece of Whisper White cardstock, and we're going to do our stamping. We're going to take the trees out of here, and we're going to stamp that out in Basic Black. So when you stamp this out, you're going to want to stamp these trees up towards the top of your Whisper White cardstock. So to create the mirror effect on here, you're going to need a piece of plastic. Now I'm using, with the photopolymer stamps, you get a plastic sheet with your, every set you get that's photopolymer through Stampin' Up. So you're just going to take one of your plastic sheets, and we're going to stamp on top of it with Basic Black. You're going to stamp the image of the trees out on that. So you have your piece of plastic here. You just take your trees, just stamp right on top. You want to stamp straight down. You don't want to wiggle it. Just stamp straight down. And then you have your tree image on your plastic. Then you're going to take your plastic, you're going to flip it so your trees are upside down. Then you're just going to take these trees and line them up right on the bottom. Place it down, and then just rub it. And then lift it up. And then it'll give it a softer look, kind of like a reflection if this was water. And then what I'll do is I'll just take, run this under water. You can take a wet paper towel, you can take a baby wipe, just rinse this off, put it back in your stamp set, and you can use this over and over again to do this technique. So the next thing we're going to do is add our color. So we're going to take our Wild Wasabi, and you're going to take one of your sponge daubers, and you're going to add color to your bottom of your trees where the grass is. And what I do is I put the ink on, and then I like to go off the paper first and get it pretty light, and then I'll just start inking on the color. Because you can always add more color, but once you put that dark color on, you can't take it off. So it depends on how dark you want your color to be. I'm just going to go for a light color here. So like I said, I'm going to take a lot of that color off. And you're just going to go along the tree line here, just the bottom here. So before we put the Wild Wasabi away, we're going to take our stitch shape framelit, and we're going to, in the middle, do the same thing. Just kind of give it a light shade of your wild wasabi, right in the middle. And if you did this darker, you may want to do this a little darker just to kind of match your card. So it'll look something like that. And then we're going to move on to the Island Indigo. So it's a little darker, so you want to be careful. Again, I always start off. See how dark that is? So if you wanted that dark on your trees, then go ahead and put that right on there. Otherwise, I'm going to just kind of lighten that up. I'm just going to go ahead and start down here with the trees and kind of blend into that green. So then you're going to take your stitch shape oval again. We're going to do the same thing. You're going to add it to the bottom. Then we're going to move on to the lightest color, which is Soft Sky. And then again, you're just going to take your Soft Sky and just finish off your stitch shape oval. So I'm going to use the Thinking of You out of this stamp set, the Teeny Tiny Wishes, but there's a bunch of them here that you could use on this card. And I'm just going to stamp that out in basic black on my stitch shape oval. So now we're just going to assemble the card. So we're just going to take the Thinking of You, just going to use some snail adhesive, and you're just going to place that on the oval silver paper. Then we're just going to layer your white cardstock on top of your Island Indigo and your Island Indigo on top of your Wild Wasabi. Then we're just going to use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals and pop that up on the front of your card. So that's it to that card. Very simple. You could put a piece of Whisper White on the inside, but I think the Wild Wasabi is light enough. You don't need it. But that's it. That's how you do the mirror or reflection technique. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.